if we see another angle of it.
I was shouting from up here. It was literally right below us, and initially I thought it's a penalty. She's caught her inside the box. Nikita's done really well to find a way to get herself on the ball inside the box. Clumsy from Childs. But as Alex said there, on the replay, she catches her back foot, which is outside the box, and she actually falls just here.
Just there, yeah.
And then she falls into the box. So correct decision from the referee.
First ever FA Cup, Women's FA Cup final with VAR, and it's been put to use. It was put to use with inside a minute, of course, as well. But let's go back on a save from Berger, which was possibly the best chance, Alex, for United.
It really was. And Manchester United have been the better team in this game so far, but we all know it's not the best team that always goes on to win the games. But Chelsea have needed their keeper to come up big. But United haven't let Chelsea get a sniff of anything. They've reacted to everything. But Sayo, you need to come in here and talk about the goalkeeper, because it's a great reaction save.
It's a brilliant save, and you can think the ball's moving quite slowly, so it might look a little bit easier, but she's already on the move. She's already on her way down. So to be able to adjust her feet at that deflection and still claw it around the post is a phenomenal save.
I think it's the way she's able to shift her weight. If you look at her right foot, it's planted as if she's going to her right-hand side. To be able to shift that weight across and get a big hand on it from the goalkeeper, phenomenal save.
And another good chance there as well, Alex.
They've really started on the front foot, Manchester United, pressing Chelsea in every area, getting down the wide areas and creating these chances. We said most of their goals come from inside the penalty area, getting those crosses in and working on those all types of movements. And it's been working for them in the first half.
For a team that have never lifted the FA Cup, it was almost the dream start, wasn't it? Inside a minute, took our breath away.
It was almost an unbelievable start, is what dreams are made of. To score so early, they set out their ambition. They pressed Chelsea immediately. They were on the front foot, they committed bodies. And here the pass, Ella Toone on the turn here, just straight, inches offside. But Leah Galton showing how dangerous she is, being a presence in the box, and that's why she scored so many goals. This pass there on that turn, she was just slightly offside. But it shows what Manchester United can do, and as you said, it could have been the brilliant start.
It really was tight, wasn't it? And it was just said, you know, VAR for the first time, and VAR's being put to good use today. That goal gave them this energy, didn't it? And they really were in the game, Farah, Manchester United. And Nikita Parris, a player with a point or two to prove, and it looks like that. She's got that attitude today.
Yeah, I think so. And attitude is probably the right word to use for Nikita. She loves playing with that attitude. And when she plays with that, that's when you get the very best out of her. I think this high pressing from Manchester United really suits her. She's an aggressive runner with and without the ball. And you can see her run here. Yes, her and Russo getting each other's way, but she recovers the ball. She's comfortable on the ball and finds a way of getting it into the box.
And you said he had the point to prove that. She's playing for that, you can see it.
Most definitely. I think when she left Arsenal and joined United, she probably didn't start the best at Man United. I think this is where you see Nikita at her best here. When she gets into the box really, really late from the shot from Ella Toone, and she just works off her. But when she joined Man United, she wasn't playing for Manchester United. She had to work her way into this team. She then got left out of the England team, and that hurt Nikita. I've had Nikita on my podcast this week. The pain that she's playing with to try and get herself back into that squad. With Serena Wiegmann being here at Wembley, showing that she can play and perform on a big occasion, I don't think she's given, you know, herself a bad chance in terms of giving herself putting herself up for selection, come the summer.
She hasn't been in Serena's squad since November, has she? And today she's saying, look, pick me. You've got gaps in this team now. I've got the experience.
It's when she gives the ball away here. You don't want players to give the ball away. It's the aggression to win it back. It's the determination. She doesn't want to lose. Nikita, I've known her since she was a young kid. I used to coach her at Everton, and she's a fighter, and that's a big part of her game. So this game today, how Man United have set up, really suits Nikita.
Let's talk about how they have set up and where they're getting most joy, and it is those wide channels again.
Wide channels. I think the fullbacks for Chelsea need to go out a bit because they're getting exposed. But look, this is what we've seen them do so well in the WSL. It's the movement, not just from one player, Russo. They keep interchanging, and Chelsea players don't know where they're making the runs, coming across. But it's been working for them. They are creating the chances. And like you said, they might be going in frustrated knowing that they should have finished one of those. But we can actually see how it's so effective because you've got the likes of Lauren James coming in inside her own half and having to do all the defending and tracking back.
Yeah, I think the fluidity of the Manchester United front four has been phenomenal. Calls this Chelsea backline, big problems. Chelsea have actually allowed them the wide area most of the half, which, to my surprise, knowing that most of Manchester United's goals come from those wide areas. So really surprising that Chelsea have actually given them that space to play in. They've dealt with them well. Obviously, they've gone in at a half 0-0, so they'll be pleased. But too many chances given up in wide areas from Chelsea.
The big surprise pre-match was that Pernille Harder was left out of the starting lineup, which was an opportunity for Lauren James to really show what she's about. And we've seen some of that, Farah.
We've seen it in glimpses. I think we spoke before the game that what Lauren's got to add to her game. We know she has that raw talent, unbelievable player with a really bright future. When she's not in games, she needs to find a way into games, and she's really struggled with that, Siobhan.
She has, and I think she can come a little bit more in field. You know, when she's running at players 1v1, she's so hard to tackle. If she can get into the box and commit defenders to tackle, it makes it so much more difficult. When she's out here on the touchline, it's not so much of a danger. It's when she's inside the width of the 18-yard box. Can she stay a bit more infield? Can she make defenders commit to making these kind of tackles inside the 18-yard box? And that's when she's going to cause problems.
Heather, do you know what? I'm going to flip it because I want to give some credit to her ex-teammate, Hannah Blundell. I think she's been strong up against her. She knows what movement she's going to do, and she has had a big half. Both of Manchester United's fullbacks, I think, have been exceptional, and it's going to need to happen again.
That header, Alex, was the first shot on target for Chelsea in that half.
Do you know what? And they will be frustrated with that, but we've seen so many times with Chelsea that they're playing average and then they come up and get a big goal.
I think that's what Chelsea have improved on this season. They played much of the season without the ball and found a way to win games, having less possession and less chances in games. So this isn't something new for Chelsea coming to a cup final and having less possession. But the save there from Mary Earps has actually kept her team in the game.
I was going to say Goalkeepers Union over there. Go on, wax lyrical.
I know, at the start I said I wanted to see lots of goals. I said we've seen players here that are on form, that score goals week in, week out. But at the moment, it's the goalkeepers that are doing really well.
At the moment, there has never been a goalless draw in a Women's FA Cup final. Not on our watch. It's not happening today. OK, we've got plenty more football coming up on the BBC. Catch up with all this weekend's Premier League action tonight from 10:30 on BBC One on Match of the Day 2. Listen to live commentary on Wednesday from 8 o'clock on Sounds as Manchester City host Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final second leg. And then we have the small matter of the conclusion of the WSL. If things go Chelsea's way against West Ham on Wednesday, they could be crowned WSL champions on the 21st as they take on Arsenal. You can watch that on BBC One from 12:15. And then join us for the final day. We're hoping it all goes down to that final day of the WSL season on May 27th. Kick-off that day is 2:30. And now, for all you music fans out there is this to look forward to.
Radio 1's big weekend is coming to Dundee. Lewis Capaldi, Ray, Wet Leg, the 1975, and many more. Let's take you closer to the music. Radio 1's big weekend starts Friday 26th of May across the BBC.
Well, there's never been a goalless draw, and we have to go back to 2012 for the last time in an FA Cup final that there was a penalty shootout, and Carly Telford was involved that day for Chelsea, and she right now is with Joe Curry.
Yes, Carly, they've just been talking about some of your experiences in FA Cup finals. You've played in teams, you've played at Wembley, you've played in finals that were played away from Wembley, but when you look at this crowd today, how does this atmosphere differ from what we've seen before?
It's unbelievable, if I'm honest. I had the pleasure of being outside here for a couple of hours and watching it build up. And just to see Wembley way full of happy families, kids, all different age groups, it's amazing how the game's transformed in the past 12 months. And that's, all thanks to the Lionesses, but I think it's the consistency, the media, and it's getting what it's deserved, a sold-out Wembley. It's unbelievable.
You've just been telling me how much you're enjoying retirement life. You called time in your career, though, whilst you were playing in the NWSL in America. How does this atmosphere still compare to what they have out there?
I must admit, I played in a wonderful stadium for a wonderful club. We built a really good team and a really good environment. But when you come back to Wembley, there's something special about being here. Hopefully the fans get a little bit noisier in the second half when we give them something to cheer about. But it's an unreal atmosphere, and I don't think anything matches Wembley on its day when it's like this.
Well, I know your nerves were shot to bits that first half as a Chelsea fan, but enjoy the second half, and it's great to see you back in England.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
In spite of no goals, it has really been a great atmosphere here in the first half. And as always in the women's game, it is brilliant to see so many families, so many girls together in a gang, but also, you know, lads out together as well. We saw Joe chatting to some lads and Manchester United fans ahead of this. It is for everyone, women's football, and today this crowd shows us just that. Let's have a moment, if we can, away from this game to have a little chat about Serena Wiegman's here today, about what is going on with her players ahead of this World Cup, because there's been a kind of domino effect of injuries, hasn't there, over the last couple of months or so. If we have a look at the starting 11 for that Germany final last July, and how many players are currently injured, definitely out or retired, it's going to be a very different look, isn't it, to this summer's Lionesses lineup in the World Cup.
It really is. You can concentrate on the negative and how we're missing big players with experience, or you can flip it and say, okay, this is a chance for other people to shine and carry the Lionesses and have their moment. Ideally, you always want to be going into a tournament with your strongest team. And I think the Lionesses were actually lucky in the summer, because when you look at every other team, you always have injuries and everything seemed to go their way, but they're going to need a plan B now.
They certainly are. Who is the hardest to replace from that list?
It's a difficult one. I think your captains, you know, how important Leah Williamson is to this squad is hugely, you know, in terms of missing. But I think in terms of players that can be replaced, I think they found it really difficult to replace Fran Kirby. I think her creativity in this team is so key. I'm not sure we found a player that delivers in the same way as her. I know the players probably don't see it the same way, but I think when she's not in that team, we really struggle.
I completely agree. I think Fran Kirby is a huge miss for England. I think playing with her, playing against her, you realise how important she is in finding those gaps, finding those key passes and scoring goals when you're up against it. And for me, she's going to be a huge miss for England at the World Cup.
OK, in case you missed it, here's what happened in the first half here.
Another weekend and another historic occasion for women's football. Goal time! 20 seconds on the clock! The flag is up! Keita Paris, straight at Berger. Turner! Berger makes the save. James gets ahead to it! The closest Chelsea have come by far.
Well, the lion's share of the chance in that first half belonged to Mark Skinner's Manchester United. Mary Earps had to be on her game. It's not going to be the same in the second